So this video is all about creation. It's all about creating, okay? Essentially, that is what we're in this lifetime for. When we are creating, we're in flow, we're in joy, because creation can only come from this part of you. Everything is awesome when you're creating because it's just stimulating and exciting and just playful and radical and amazing, right? When we're creating something. But guess what? When we're not creating something, we're very, very unhappy bunnies. And that's when anxiety and fear and doubt comes in, when you're just sat stagnant. And the reason that happens is because your true essence is that you are a divine creator. You are. You are God spark. You have all of this energy, frequency, vibration, unique soul design that holds a certain set of gifts that you've brought through in this lifetime to action. And that sounds all mystical and very Merlin-y, but in a way, let's talk about Merlin. He's all about alchemy, turning base metal into gold. So what you want to do is turn nothing into something. Turn $5 into $500. Do you know what I mean? Turn an unhealthy body into a healthy body. You know, that is alchemy. That is like the magic. And whether you like it or not, you are using that energy all day, every day, whether it is to create something negative or positive. But we want, so basically one is a conscious creation. That's essentially alchemy, because that is working with the light and the energy and the frequency to turn something low vibration into high vibration. But then unconscious creating is basically creating a life that's really shit, basically, and you're miserable. And essentially humanity has unconsciously created what we got going on here, which is AKA known as the world. So we are here to do the other one, okay? To turn base metal into gold, right? So now this video is all about creation. Now, I work with one-on-ones to help them with this vibe. That's what the Egypt tours are all about as well, to bring this magic and wisdom that you hold inside of you online. And that is not to get lost in kind of like what I call mystified by the magic and stuck up in the stars and going, oh, it's so amazing. No, it's like, yeah, that is amazing. Bring it down to base camp now. Okay, so now you've tapped into the magic. Awesome. Moving on to the next stage, which is what are you creating in this world? You're using that medicine, you're using that magic to create something really high vibrational, not just 2/3 vibrational, highest vibrational, which brings out your best outcome, your highest level of frequency and joy and happiness. Essentially, that's how it goes. That all encompasses flow, joy, just oneness. That's all of that stuff we talk about. It all lives there. So I'm going to share with you, I work with grid works and formulas, okay? And even the Egypt tour that I put together actually lies on this grid work. And I am I open the portals. So you've got portals, pathways, and platforms. And what I mean by that, I mean, I'm always a lover of the number 3. Everything for me comes in 3s, okay? And that's just the way I work. But it is a divine sacred grid work which goes deeper and deeper and deeper, but I'll be here for hours if I could explain to you about the depth. All you need to know is portal, pathways, and platforms. So the portal is you giving your sacred yes, going, yeah, okay, I'm down to actually tapping into energy within me and activating all of this power that I have that I didn't know I had. And now I have this divine idea, because now you visualize it and now you see it, okay, you see it, and now you're like, right, okay, I'm going to create the pathway. So the pathway is now, so say if it's a new business, you're going to go, right, well, I need to do some business studies, or maybe I need to employ a team, maybe I need to start up a website, you know what I mean? That's what we call the pathway. So that's the journey in creation. So the pathway is the walkway from the vision to now kind of like putting systems in place, right? That's the pathway. When you get to the platform, that means it's landed. So what does the platform look like? What's the end game? What does the sacred architecture look like? Is it a training school that you put together? Was it a workshop? Was it a book that you were writing? Was it that business I spoke of with all your team around you? What are you doing? What are you creating? That's when it comes into physical form. And that platform is the most important part of that formula. Now, what we tend to do, especially as spiritual types, we tend to activate the portal. Woo, I'm open. This is amazing and awesome. Off we go into the pathways. So we start to go and search and we go and learn and we do workshops and we do workshop after workshop after workshop after workshop, thinking we're not ready and we don't know enough. And we learn. Don't need to learn anything because you just need to remember because it's all inside. But that's what we do. And we keep circling and we don't land on the platform, which means we never create. And that makes us miserable because we are creators. That is our most natural frequency that we hold. We are creators. When we are not in that flow and when we are not doing that and we are not working with our power, we become depressed, miserable in our jobs, miserable in our lives, our relationships, because we just handed our power away. So that's why we get so stuck up here. And the only thing that's missing from that is that you didn't land on the platform. You didn't come down onto this level and create what you brought through so amazingly, this idea. You just got stuck up there. So it's like a rainbow, or you can look at it like the Great Pyramid. You start here, you go peak up there, okay? And then you come and land down into the earth and you create your business or your creation here. Now, if you are already in business or you have created something pretty damn good, you've written 10 books already, sometimes our energy or our creation codes can all of a sudden stop. And you go, well, I've just written 2 really good books. I'm required to write another one now. Where do I pull that from? Or, maybe you were like me back in the day, you're an instructor. I used to do really amazing hip hop classes and I used to just to intricately design every single move to the breakdown. It took me hours to put this class together. And the music was so, strategically chosen to match the class. I put a lot of work into that creative hour. And it would be so amazing. And we would all be on such a high because the beats were good, the moves were amazing. And then the next day I'm like, oh God, in 2 days time, I've got to teach that class again, but I need to change the class. How am I going to top that? And then I would get writer's block, So again, this formula, you would go in and access, open the portal, work with the pathway, and then create the platform. Now I'm going to go into the next layer of kind of Egyptian magic, all right? Because the Egyptians used this kind of magic and medicine in their everyday lives, okay? Now they called it Sia, S-I-A. Sia was the vision, okay? The vision of seeing their idea. It would just come in. It's like a divine design. It came in here. They would see it, right? She's the divine feminine. Then you had Hu, which is the masculine side of it. That's how I feel it. Hu is an anti-clockwise spiral, beautiful actually. But Hu, H-U, was about the breath and like breathing life into something, speaking the words, speaking your idea into being. So saying out loud, right, find your voice. I'm going to create X, Y, and Z and I need you and you to help me, whatever it might be, right? Then that Sia plus Hu equals Heka, H-E-K-A, which by the way is the name of my new business. Design, business being of light, name, whatever you want to call it, because Heka is what my work is all about, magic and medicine. So Heka is the creation. It's the magic. It is the result of seeing it, speaking it, creating it. The magic is when it really happens. It comes into your hands, okay? Heka. So that was a very, I suppose you could call it, the alchemy of Egypt. That was what they worked with when they made a meal, when they planted crops in the grounds. So they had good energy and good vibes because they were empowered. They weren't going to someone else and giving their power away. They were channeling the ideas and the wisdom themselves by using Sia, Hu, but ultimately Heka, who is actually the god of magic and medicine. Now drop that into my portals, pathways and platforms. It's the same thing. That's just our modern version of ancient wisdom, right? So grids are really, really important. And like I say, this is the framework of all of my work that I assist people like yourself in accessing. So I'm not here to drop the idea into your head. I'm not here to walk the path for you and go there. It's very empowering. I'm here just to activate, open, create the grid work and make sure that you stay on that line and then you open. The big ideas and the big creations comes from you. That's what's so effing awesome about this, that it's all you. So I am like this powerful space holder that just basically says, have you looked at that? Did you look at that? Did you look at that? Constantly keeping on that grid and working with the magic. So allowing the energy to come into your physical and the two meet together. Kaboom, success, magic, flow. Yeah, amazing, right? And it really is that simple. So creations, creating. Now I'm going to kind of go back into the energy of what is actually going on right now in the world. I have a list. You know how Marie likes a list? I have a list. Right, okay. So it's interesting because at the moment I am in a place of like, I'm very excited because as I go into this new realm of my brand new business being of light, Heka, magic and medicine that we're all going to share from, that's the new name of the business being of light. I've created this. I'm using myself as an example here. And to celebrate that moment, I bought myself a big Apple laptop monitor thing. Not a laptop, but a big monitor thing. Because I thought if I'm going to create big, I'm going to have it big on a big screen. So it was quite ceremonial for me. And I invested, I got all my gold coins together and I bought this. And I'm like, okay, this is cool. Now, interestingly, yesterday, it's taken me forever to basically transfer the files over to the big screen. So I was going from a little place of where I create everything to a big place to where I create everything. And I was watching it as it was like transferring files. And we had a few hiccups along the way where it lost Wi-Fi and I had to start again. And I thought, this is really interesting because this is indicative of our paths, where we're going now. Oh yes, we're transferring, downloading. We're receiving information from one laptop to a screen, and then it lost Wi-Fi. That's where self-doubt set in. So I had to start again and start the process again. And eventually I transferred all this amazing information onto the big screen. So I've put here transferring files. Now that is where we're at the moment. Your systems are upgrading. They are up. So imagine yourself as you're this big screen. And right now you're like, right, bring me all the files. Okay. So you are now downloading all this brand new information, which is now fitting like a game of Tetris with the codes that you already hold within you. And they're going ping, 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 and everything's lighting up and it's like, oh my God, match. And your systems are coming online, okay? So this is conscious creation now where we are. Spoke about unconscious creating, which is basically just being in the negative and living in the head and thinking everything's crap. You're creating from here. And the actual conscious creating, okay, unconscious creating, conscious creating is now where these ideas just come to you effortlessly. Now, my business being of light, Heka, which is where I'm going to right now, I'm in the creation process of it, it just dropped in. It just dropped in this now moment and I was being super still. I wasn't even doing anything and all of this information came in. So you're going to find things dropping in that easily because that's where we're at, okay? So that's where we are, transferring files, upgrading, updating. We are literally being lifted from here, from the small screen, up to the big screen, okay? So we are transferring files and when that happens, you're going to find a lot of physical stuff going on in your bodies. I have just recovered only today from a pop shoulder that I've had for 2 weeks. In agony. It had a whole story in itself, and the journey, my pathway to my power was to actually sit with it for 2 weeks and allow it. Kept having my chiropractor work on me and bit by bit, and now today energy's just popped, heart energy's come online. This was even a pathway. So honoring that grid that I shared with you in every area of your lives will serve you well, okay? So now I want to ask you, what are you creating? Take a moment. And if it's a blank, that's fine. It may be a big surge of energy where you're like, oh my God, I really want to get this idea off the ground. And it's just been going, I don't have the confidence or anything like that. Well, that's old. Do you know what I mean? And it may be like a panic, like, I don't know what I'm creating. Oh my God. So that means you're in your head, okay? But what I want to tell you and share with you is I speak to a lot of people and they're like, I just can't get out of my head. This is going down for me. I know I've got these, superpowers, your divine geniuses. I know I have these special gifts and I just don't know how to use them or access them in the fullness because I keep going back to my old stuff and all of that. But let me tell you, in this very powerful time of expansion and transformation, like right now, this time in June beyond, Spirit has done it several times with me in the past 6 weeks. It has completely hijacked me to the point where I'm like, oh my God, I didn't even have a conscious yes. I obviously had a soul yes because that's why Spirit just literally grabbed me and threw me over there. But Spirit, I'm noticing in myself and my soul tribe around me is just getting involved. So what I want to share with you here is if you don't think you're on track, I don't want you to sweat it because Spirit, your spirit and your guides and the higher power source, whatever you want to call it, the universe is going to intervene. And every single one of us that aren't on track, if you haven't quite picked up that last breadcrumb, Spirit is going to get involved and throw you a clanger, and it's going to align you. A little bit like the chiropractor I went to. Think about that. I've had to go, all this light has come in, and I've had to have the chiropractor realign my skeleton because like it's just blown. And I was like, my God, yeah, okay, awesome for receiving the light, but now my structure's out of alignment. So I've had to do this jolty kind of like alignment, get it in. You know, it certainly wasn't a soft massage. And now I feel completely aligned and the energy's running. So that is where we're at right now. You're going through a structural, which is physical alignment. The energy's coming in, there's lots of it. And also as well, talking about Spirit getting involved, no matter what, you'll get there because they will hijack you if they haven't done already. What you are doing in your dream state is massive and huge. But what happens here is we sit and look around in the daytime and go, well, nothing really going on here. Oh, okay, fine, whatever. But actually at nighttime, you are doing some serious work. So don't get it twisted. When you wake up and you go, why am I so tired? And then you try and do work throughout the day. What do you want to be doing? Working 24 hours a day? You're already doing it in sleep state. Chill out, relax, trust. Trust and know that you are doing a lot of work in nighttime, daytime, just relax. Just go with it. Just go with it. So the second half of June and onwards, okay, so now and onwards, we are going into a timeline now which is all about creating, and you're going to be called now to bring forth your divine genius. Like, what did you promise that you were going to bring through? What did you say to Spirit that, like, you know, what's your contribution? So when you have a barbecue or a dinner party, you know, sometimes somebody says, Sharon, can you bring the pudding? And somebody says, I'll make a salad. Okay, I'll bring a couple of bottles of wine. You kind of bring it in like that. So what are you bringing to the party? Because you can't turn up to somebody's house empty-handed. You know what I mean? So what are you bringing to the party? And if you don't know, well, that's a beautiful thing, because I help you unpack that. I help you access that. That is what the Egypt tour is all about. That is what the one-on-ones I do. You know, it's kind of like, I suppose you could call them like mentorships, but we don't commit for like 6 months long. We just work as we go. But when we enter into that space, you know, it's like, right, where's the blocks? Why are you fearful of opening your portal? Get it open. Get in flow, because the main thing is creation, creating, and the overriding energy of that is joy. To be in that flow and joy and just be detached from everything which is worry, stress, and lack of abundance, because that's all bullshit and non-reality. But when you're in it, it's very much your reality. So how do we cross you over? So this is really important because it's very basic, okay? It's about clicking out of that, coming into this, all right? All it takes is a sacred yes and a little bit of guidance from somebody like me. And if you go on to the Egypt tours that I do, the next one, Tablets of Light tour, is on the 30th of March. That will be launching in August. So watch out for that, because like I say, we're putting all the details together now as we speak. And there will be a certain selection of conscious creators on that tour. And we are going there for one purpose and one purpose only. And that is to access, open the portal, derive the pathway, which is actually going to Egypt to collect your codes, access, activate. And then the platform is where we do the work afterwards, because you work with me after the tour. That work is essential. I cannot stress enough the platform part of this formula, how that is where the magic is. And believe it or not, it's not the Egypt part. That is amazing and monumentally massive and just like, whoa. But it's like the Egypt part represents you going to the supermarket, where you walk in the supermarket going, right, okay, I'm going to make dinner tonight. I'm going to need this, I'm going to need that. And you go and collect all your ingredients. That's collecting codes from Egypt. So you go back to the place where all of the codes are that you need to make this amazing you, okay? Then when you get off the tour, and then I work with you post-tour, which is the most essential, powerful, magical part of it. That's where everything comes online. That is actually the moment, you know? So just remember that formula. And I'm sure when you go away and sit with us now, you'll kind of get resonance and go, oh yeah, that was the portal part of my life. Okay, that was the pathway, you know? And you might understand it now, that why things might not be happening for you, because you got stuck on the pathway. You never got to the platform. And I liken it to something I said to my group, my Egypt group the other day. I actually posted something on the WhatsApp group, because as I've spoken about, we've just got back from Egypt. Put it this way. Think of a train. So when a train comes into the station, if there is no platform, you can't get off the damn train, right? You can't go off into London or wherever you've arrived to go and do things and have magical experiences and create things because you can't get off the train. You are stuck in the middle carriage obsessing about how nice the sticky buns are and how the coffee is. So you're stuck there. You've got to get off the train. But if you haven't created the platform, you'll never get off the train. You'll just be looking at sticky buns all day. So that is, you can look at it whichever manner of means, but that's got to land, hey? So go off and create. It's time to create now. I mean, like, just sit and let what I've said settle, and then just, you know, and it will bring stuff online. So like I say, you know, portals, pathways, and platforms. See you soon. Peace.